What's up, everybody? Today I got a bunch of hats to paint, and I figured what better way to paint them than to hang out with you guys. So we're just gonna get to it. They're all graffiti style hats. Some of my favorite type of designs to paint. They're all kind of similar. They're different names, different colors and things like that, but you'll see some similarity between them. So I'm just gonna get to it, and hopefully we'll have a good time. First one is Cory, C-O-R-Y. Let me space out these letters first. Now they did request that these letters come down onto the bill of the hat a little bit, which normally I wouldn't offer, but since they were nice about it, I will go ahead and do that. And the reason I wouldn't offer that normally is without some kind of upcharge is because it takes a lot more work to get that down there on the rim. It's not that big of a deal, I'm just gonna do it. But yeah, I guess the first thing I'll do is do the black and then do the outlines down here. You'll see what I mean. How you guys doing today? It's a beautiful day where I am. The weather is much warmer today than I expected it to be. And I'm thinking I'm gonna play some golf later. Hopefully. In other news, I have some graffiti lettering practice sheets that I've been working on that I want to get out to you soon. They'll be like a downloadable format on my channel, and you'll be able to at least practice my style of graffiti lettering, and then from there you can start to develop your own styles and change from there. But that's my plan. Tries to help, but still getting spit. What are you talking about? It'd be hard for me to troubleshoot your airbrush at the very moment without seeing what it's doing. I can try. Bring these letters down here. And remember to face the hat towards the camera while I'm painting. Graffiti practice sheets would be awesome. Yeah, I think so, thank you. I'm trying to figure out... See, I have so many different styles of graffiti letters. Every day, everything changes. Every couple weeks, I look back at my letters and they're entirely different than they were the last week. So I want to decide if I should have a bunch of different styles of lettering, or I should keep it really simple at first, and then maybe I'll keep on adding more alphabets later on or something if you wanted to change the style up. I don't know. Alright, let's add... Oh, crap. Okay. So all these have pink and purple letters and then different color backgrounds. They're kind of similar though. I wish I had a working hairdryer. I'll use this one. I haven't used these hairdryers in so long, and they just sit on the garage. They're getting really dirty, and every time I turn them on, spiders come crawling out of them. So do you paint portraits too? I don't paint portraits. I've gotten that question a lot lately, and it's been making me think if I should start painting portraits again, or I should try it again. It's been a long time since I've even tried one. Maybe I would enjoy it more now. Since last time I've tried, I've gotten a lot of I picked up a lot of tips, a lot of techniques that make it easier. One of which is the doodle grid that Smo has made a video about. That's a really good video. It basically you do doodle. It doesn't really work with airbrushing though, is the problem. Let me not get ahead of myself. Portraits are hard because proportions are hard, and because shading is hard. And back when I used to do portraits a lot, I wasn't good at any of that. I'm a lot better at shading now. I'm a lot better at proportions now, but I still haven't tried again. Long story short, yeah, I should try again, but no, I don't. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I need to make these cool, but not spend a long time on them either. Hope this is right. Corey, this one's teal and blue, pink, purple, black. So let's add some blue to the letters. I think I will try some portraits soon. What I really want to do, what I've been looking forward to, is doing a really big graffiti canvas. Something wider format. Usually the biggest I paint on is a t-shirt, but back in the day I used to do a lot of murals and things, and I want to get back into painting really large scale again. That's a lot of fun. Works are consistent, you keep busy with the brushes, great flow. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Marcus Smith Fly. Sometimes consistency is good, sometimes it gets boring. I need some honest feedback from you guys real quick. When I'm doing these live streams, it's not really intentional, but subconsciously I try to rush through everything really fast because I feel like I'm wasting everybody's time if I take my time and paint slowly. And that might be true, it might not be true, but do you feel like this is boring because you're watching the same thing over and over again? Or do you enjoy watching the real-time, slow, detailed work? A better format, I think, for these live stream videos would be me painting one detailed piece instead of a bunch of regular, simple t-shirts and hats. So, keep that in mind. I think that would be better. I don't want to keep on pushing out the same old content over and over again and bore you guys. That's what I'm afraid of. Thank you, Gilbert. If water's coming out of your airbrush, then there's probably water in your lines, in your air compressor. There has to be. If there's not water in your paint, and it's water's coming out of your airbrush, then it has to be coming out of your air compressor. It's the only other place for it to be. That's one. Corey is done. Set him over here. Next one is Farah. Green and teal, blue, purple, black. Let's do teal letters. I think both options, jumping back and forth. It's entertaining to me, as it's not something I do, but pick up. Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like if I was watching this, I come back and I watch my videos often to make sure that I'm doing things at a reasonable pace and covering enough details and stuff like that. But what would be more entertaining to me to watch is the details come to life, not me paint a bunch of mediocre t-shirts. So, I agree. Yeah. Alright, how to do graffiti professionally, any suggestions? Well, My first step, people ask me similar questions a lot. The first step in that is always get good at what you want to do first. Many people come and ask me how to start a business, how can I get started airbrushing professionally, and how can I, how should I start selling my t-shirts and stuff. And these are people that have none or very little airbrushing experience or graffiti experience at the time. And my answer to you is it's not time for you to think about becoming a professional. First, you need to spend a couple years getting good at what you plan on selling to people, or they're not going to want to buy it. You have to get good first, and it does take a couple years from absolute beginner to be good enough to feel comfortable selling your work to other people. But if you are good enough, or you think you're on that path, the easiest thing to do is go get a job at somebody else's shop. And there's not a whole lot of them anymore, especially after the last couple of years, but if you can't find a local shop or a theme park or some kind of art business, then go make an Etsy shop. Keep your day job, go start an Etsy store. It's really easy to set up and start offering your products at a price point that you think you can sell them for. And when the orders come in, do a really good job on them. And word of mouth is going to be your best advertisement at that point. I appreciate the compliments, everybody, a whole lot. So you've been doing graffiti for, what, like 5 years now? That's really good. That's enough time to be good at it if you've invested the time into it. You're a senior, you're right out of high school or right in high school. That's when I started my business as well. I did everything online. Everything I did, I started online. So if you want to start a business, you have all the tools right in front of you. You're on your phone or on your computer right now. And let me say this too, I don't want this to be offensive, but this is real life and it might save you some time. I don't want to be offensive or discouraging. If you aren't able to, though, figure out how to start a business and run a business yourself, it might not be what you should focus on doing at the moment. Because as a business owner, you are always going to be overcoming dilemmas and solving problems and fixing things and changing things. And if you aren't able to problem solve yourself, you'll never make it. It's okay to ask advice and ask for help and get feedback from everybody else, that's great. But you should always first have a thought in your mind of how you think you would solve that problem. You should always have a hypothesis before you go start asking people for questions. And you gotta just try. See what works and see what doesn't work. Because you're gonna, at the beginning of a business, even 10 years into a business, you're gonna have more failures than you are successes. And you have to be able to work with those and figure out how to improve from all of those things. So keep that in mind going forward. It's always going to be a struggle. I've been doing this 12 years. 2 years ago, I struggled to pay my bills. You get good seasons and bad seasons, ups and downs. My business structure changes every 6 months. This whole YouTube thing is brand new to me. Lately, I've been doing a lot of work for clothing brands and startup businesses trying to sell t-shirts. That's something I never did in the first 10 years, and now it's almost all that I do. It's always changing. Thank you. And some drips. Next, what will we have here? Diane, pink and blue and red. Okay, I'm gonna do red on the outside. D-I-A-N-E. I've been thinking about changing my name recently too. Just to give people trying to get their first 1,000 followers. Well, honestly, these live streams helped with that a lot. No, never mind. The live streams helped with watch hours. I'll explain that, I guess. When I started trying to be monetized on YouTube, you require 1,000 followers and you require a certain amount of watch hours, the time people spend watching your videos. And all my videos were really short, so even though I had people watching them, it never amounted to the amount of time I needed to get monetized. So these live streams, these long format videos that I get to talk to you guys during, that got those watch hours up quick. But for subscribers, I'm not a YouTube expert, guys. I'm new to this whole thing. I think I'm doing okay, but this is not my expertise yet. It's a whole new platform. But I don't know, do good work, post good videos, explain what you're good at. If you have something that you're good at or that you can offer that other people can't offer, explain it. When YouTube, for me personally, in the history of YouTube, has always been a tool that I would go to learn something new. There's other reasons to use it too, but for me it was, all right, how do I do this? Let me go to YouTube and figure it out. So find something that you're good at explaining, that you know a lot about, and just talk about it. I guess, I don't know. Blue and red. I'm not really bringing these names onto the bill like I was supposed to. What are you saying? Done one portrait since I learned. I will check you out. Send me a message, I'll check you out. Appreciate it. Thank you for the compliment. But yeah, I've been thinking about changing my name. On all these platforms, I am Airbrush Customs. And that's cool and it's great. But when I think about doing other things, I'm not necessarily an airbrush artist anymore. I want to be a graffiti artist. I want to do murals and other things. And I feel like I'm stuck with this other name that's not me. I don't know. So I feel like it's too late to change it. I also feel like my real name's kind of lame. When you hear the name Dale, you think old man / race car driver. And I'm neither of those things. Yeah, that too. Chip and Dale. That was my favorite show as a kid. Not Alvin and the Chipmunks. You're talking about Rescue Rangers. Is that the same thing? Rescue Rangers, that's what it is. Spelled that. Teal, green, yellow, and purple. Okay. Let's do teal and green. Debbie. Dale's Graffiti sounds good. That sounds lame, I'm gonna be honest with you. I need like a graffiti name. I always write Theta. But I don't think people would know who I am if I just decided to change my name to that one day. Girls Graffiti. Mom with spaghetti. Custom brush art by Dale. Keep them coming. Smo. What's up, Smo? How you doing, man? I was talking about your doodle grid a minute ago. Filling outlines is only possible with Airbrush. That's true. Look at this. Not even covering up the black. Has Badger stopped making the airbrushes I use? Badger stopped communicating entirely. I don't know. I don't know what Badger's doing. I don't know what any airbrush manufacturing company is doing anymore. I have no idea. I'm having a hard time with that supply shop because no one is responding well. So all that's on hold. Do I mostly use transparent paint? Yes, I do. That's why I can cover up these black lines without them, well, I can paint over them without covering them up. My black and white are opaque. The rest of the colors are transparent, and that it's a different process than painting normal graffiti with spray cans, as was pointed out just now. And I guess that's the reason I always do the outlines first, because I've learned how to do graffiti using this process instead of the other. And I enjoy it. It's more fun for me to make the black outlines. I always do black outlines, but to make the outlines before the fills, because I feel like I have more freedom, and it also puts more pressure on you when you're doing those outlines without a fleshed out first lines kind of sketch. I enjoy it that way. But when I do take my time and do the first line sketch and then do the fill and then do the outline, it looks good too. You can do it either way. It's just your preference. There's nothing preventing you from doing the sketch and then doing the fill and then doing the outlines. You just can do it the other way with an airbrush. Or with any transparent paint. I will make a process video of doing orders. I'll make a video on how I prep the shirts and seal the shirts afterwards and all that. I get requests for that a lot. It's definitely something that I want to cover. I want to teach every step of the process. You don't like doing the sketch first, Mo? You spend so much time on your sketches. You should try it with an airbrush, or you should try it with just some kind of transparent paint. Or just challenge yourself with the quick first spacing letters, and then just go straight into outlines without any sketch. That's fun to watch. Do I thin my paints? I do thin my paints with a little bit of reducer. You can use water. I use Createx's reducer. It's an ethanol alcohol-based mixture. Yeah, thinning the paints and bumping the PSI to about 50 helps you get a good, consistent, and strong flow. Page 2. I prefer to paint a higher pressure rather than a lower pressure, just because I like to throw down paint real fast. Let's do page. See, when I do my letters, I just do this. sometimes I don't even do that, but that gets me the spacing of the letters, make sure I don't run out of room. And then you go straight into having fun. But it's only on personal orders that you have the freedom to really get crazy with the letters. On these, you have to make sure everything's legible, so it really limits your creativity, I guess. Goodbye, Mr. President. See you, man. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming in. Smo and I are running for president in 2040 together. So watch out for that. He'll be the German president, or whatever they have. What brand shirts and hoodies do you use? The brand of the shirts and hoodies don't really matter. I use Gildan mostly. Some Anvil and Gildan. All that matters is that it's cotton. I prefer painting on 100% cotton. At least a 50-50 cotton blend is good. Cotton is what absorbs the paint really well and holds it well when you press it and holds it in the wash. If you don't have a cotton base, your paint is going to wash out of your item, and that's not what you're looking for. I get my hoodies from jiffyshirts.com. They've been really good to me. Their prices are good. They got a good selection. But it doesn't matter. There's a million places you can get your items from. I've been thinking about painting on some face masks lately. I feel like it would be lame to have a name across, just wearing your name on your face. I don't know. Maybe if it was a cool graffiti style, it'd be fun. What are the boards you made to put your shirts on? I made those boards myself out of masonite. You can use any kind of thin wood. I've seen people use plastic. I've seen foam and fiberglass. You don't need to do all that. Just get yourself a thin, cheap piece of plywood. Something that's not splintery. And cut it yourself with a jigsaw or whatever you have. It's not really something you would want to buy online. And I've never seen them for sale in person. Because they're so big and heavy, it's not something you'd want shipped to you. So just lay a shirt out or whatever item that you're working on and measure it and see how wide it needs to be, and buy a piece of wood and cut it yourself. You want the shirt to be a little tiny bit stretched on it, not loose, because then you have to clip it, but not too tight or you're stretching the shirt. So find a happy medium. Teal, pink, red, purple, black. How much does my equipment cost? These airbrushes cost about 70, 80 bucks each. They've changed prices many times over the years. Paint bottles are $2 each, and the airbrush and the air compressor is your biggest expense. After that, everything is pretty reasonable. Paint is kind of expensive at first, but if you're making sales and you're actually doing this professionally, paint isn't a cost that you need to worry about. You can get started with one airbrush, an air compressor, paint and bottles and everything you need for under $200. For around $200. I don't know, 200 might be stretching it. If you need shirt boards and a bunch of paint and everything else, it might be a little higher than that. It really depends on what you want to do. Hey. Do you wear your own merch? And if yes, what style do you gravitate towards? I typically don't wear a bunch of airbrush stuff. I used to. Not anymore. Every now and then I'll wear a hat or something with a graffiti style on it. Something like this, but kind of cooler. I'd rather paint canvases and look at canvases and, you know, stuff like that. I don't typically wear it. I wear plain colored t-shirts and cargo shorts because I'm cool. Margot, pink, red, purple, black. Let's do a red text. I used to paint everything. I painted my Xbox, I painted my golf bag, I painted my car. That was back in my high school days. I've calmed down a lot. Where can I order a lot of shirts and hoodies? You can go to my website. There's a link on my channel, or just search Airbrush Customs. It's airbrushcustoms.net is the website, but it'll pop up whatever you type in. And the best way to order them is to contact me through there, and we'll get you set up. Or if you'd rather find my Instagram and message me through there, that's good too. Same username, you should be able to find it. Hola, or holla. Okay. The airbrush nozzle size, I believe that's what you're asking, on these airbrushes is a 0.3 millimeter. Sometimes I'll work with up to a 0.5. But the 0.3 gives you, it's small enough to get really small details nice and easily, and big enough to lay down paint real fast. So 0.3 is pretty good. I get a lot of questions about what airbrush I use and where to get one. These are by Badger. They're called the Omni 3000s, but it's not the only good airbrush out there. Your airbrush needs to be dual action, which means you can push down for air and you pull back for paint. It's two separate actions, and depending on the quantity that you'll be painting and how often you need to change colors, you can either get a siphon-fed airbrush or you can get a gravity-fed airbrush that has the cup on top. As long as it's a dual action airbrush and has, you know, it's a quality brush, it really doesn't matter what brand you get. Just get one and get used to it and get good at it. Margot, teal pink. I don't want to blend pink and red. I hate blending pink and red. See one of your videos about a master. Have you tried airbrush? I haven't done the video on the master airbrush yet. I'm going to. What am I doing here? Hold on. Pink, purple, teal. I'm going to do, I haven't unboxed that master airbrush yet. It's a cheap airbrush. It's way less expensive. The whole kit was like 35 bucks. So I'm going to check it out. I'm going to see if it's a good enough quality that I can recommend it to you guys, and if I can, then I will, and if it's not good enough quality, I will tell you and explain why it's not good enough and point you in a better direction. I haven't tried Harbor Freight airbrushes yet, but I actually did buy one. I have one of those as well. I'm looking for all of the ways to help you guys get started airbrushing, and unfortunately the major airbrush brands that should be providing everything for everybody are dropping the ball. So I'm looking at alternatives for you guys. You definitely want a good quality airbrush or you're gonna have trouble constantly. You already have enough trouble with the airbrush that works well, that's good quality. So having a poor quality one is just gonna make you frustrated constantly. And especially starting out when you don't understand why things aren't working, it can be really frustrating learning on your own. So that's why I'm here. I'm gonna make videos. I've already made several, but you know, explaining how to get started and stuff, of course, but also helping you problem solve all of the little issues that you're definitely going to run into constantly, because I ran into them constantly and they're not fun. Excuse me while I kill some spiders. Thank you very much. 3mm bump. So yeah, these are 3mm. That's where I like to work, but you can go bigger and smaller. It's up to you. Can you paint with regular spray paint? Did you start out painting graffiti? I have a lot less experience painting with spray cans. I have, but I did not start out with spray cans. I didn't come to airbrushing after I had already known graffiti. I actually started out airbrushing first and was never good at graffiti style lettering until 6, 7, 8 years into airbrushing, and I decided to start adopting the style. I enjoy it a lot, and now it's most of what I do because it's a lot of fun, but I never did graffiti growing up. That wasn't my thing. I've never bombed a wall yet. You have a lot more control with the airbrush than you do with spray can. At least I do, because obviously I'm putting all the detail in this little spot, not on a giant wall. You have to have a lot more control. So I feel like when I do start using spray cans more for larger artwork, I think my airbrush history is going to be beneficial. But I also feel like I'm gonna struggle with spray cans because I won't have nearly the control that I'm used to. So it'll be fun to start playing with those. I don't know how it'll look. The wall in front of me, yeah. One day, maybe. I've been afraid to paint on it because I wanted to be consistent for the videos and stuff. Do I find graffiti easier than script? I don't. Actually, they're both really kind of easy. Script lettering is a lot faster. I honestly enjoy both. I do like putting together a real intricate cursive calligraphy style design. Anything that I get to spend my time on and have artistic freedom painting, I enjoy painting. I think it's, I have a good balance of orders and jobs from the site that let me do the graffiti style work as well as the calligraphy style. And I get good breaks back and forth from each of them. When I want to knock out a bunch of shirts quickly, that calligraphy style comes into play, and when I want to really spend a lot of time on details, I can do that with these graffiti shirts. I'm interested in that too. You're talking about your different airbrushes as well as a Harbor Freight one. I've always had a bad taste in my mouth for Master Airbrush and the Harbor Freight airbrushes because they're just not as high quality, everyone says. But I haven't tried one fresh out of the box. I haven't tried a new one, and I think at this point it's only fair that I give it a good, solid, non-biased, unbiased shot and see if it's good enough to do something with. So the video will be me unboxing the airbrush, setting it up, tuning it and cleaning it or whatever needs to happen to get it working right as best I can, and then I'm gonna paint some shirts with it and draw a conclusion on what was good and what was bad and if it's good enough to start out with. What I do know is that no professional I've ever met uses a cheap Master or Harbor Freight airbrush. They all use Iwata or Badger or Pache or one of the major brands to get the work done. And I think there's probably a big reason for that. But there's nothing wrong with starting out with something cheaper and more accessible and upgrading if you want to later. The only thing in the way of that, again, is that if it's a poor quality airbrush that's going to give you trouble and issues constantly, then you might give up before you get good because airbrushing isn't working out for you, and it might just be because your airbrush sucks. And I would hate for that to be the case. When I started out, I used Pache's, the Pache VLs. We call them the pickles. Real rounded, oval shaped airbrush. Hard to hold, hurt your fingers, but they did the job. Then I moved on to the Vega 2000 for a while. And then I grabbed one of these Omni 3000s, and I never got anything other than that since then. Those are the ones you're using? Which ones? The Pache? Yeah, they're fun. When I went back to, I painted 12 years ago. I got that job at the theme park. Then I did my own thing, and like 2018, I think like 2 years ago, I went back to Kings Dominion just to have like a fun seasonal job there, just because it would be fun to go back to where I started. And busted out the old Pache VLs and did the thing with them, and it was fun using them again. And I was able to do the same stuff I'm doing now with those airbrushes. They're quality stuff. And they actually have a 0.5 millimeter nozzle, so they're a lot bigger. I think it's 0.5, it might be 0.7. They're pretty big. Yeah, the Vegas are nice. I used those for years. What am I doing? Pink and purple? Yeah. This is the last hat. I was gonna pretend that nothing happened, but I actually spelled one of the hats wrong. So I'm just gonna go ahead and redo it on the live stream. I was informed recently that this white outline I do on the outside of the letters is called a key line. I didn't know that, but I appreciate the education I was bestowed with. It proves that I'm not a long-term graffiti artist. I don't know the terminology. Hi. Hi, Jerry. Forgot my drips. Alright, let me get a new hat to redo that one. Which one was it? It was Diane. wrote Diana. Blue, red, pink, purple, black. I'm gonna do blue, red inside this time. I take it we're live. We are. This is so satisfying. I'm glad. I'm very glad you're having a good time. I'm having a good time too. This will be the last hat of the day, guys, and then I gotta get out of here. Very important business calls. I have to go golfing. So. That's cool. You do funerals? What do you mean funerals? You airbrush for funerals? Or was that a typo? That's my handicap in golf. Not good. It's 18 on a good day. But I really enjoy it. Hi, bro. What kind of airbrushes are these? These are Omni 3000s by Badger. We just had a long discussion about these airbrushes, about all kinds of airbrushes today. If you back the video up about 10 minutes, you'll probably get the whole thing. You'll notice some paints are more opaque than others, even though these are all transparent. This red layer is a whole lot better on this black than that purple did or the blue does. And if you kind of memorize that, you know which colors to use where to make things easier for you. Every color acts a little bit different. It's kind of strange. Another important thing, not all colors blend well together. Pink and green, for example, blend into a gross looking muddy brown. And this red and blue that I have to blend together, they would blend into a purple, which is not what I'm looking for. So in order to blend those colors that don't necessarily work together well, you have to leave a little gap in the middle of like white. So I'm gonna get this close, but I'm not gonna let the colors actually touch each other. So they're blended, they're right next to each other, but they're not actually touching, so I don't get that purple color in the middle. Okay, you do pure photo, yeah, okay. I do a lot of photo transfer shirts, memorial shirts. I've never painted caskets or anything. Thank you. Yes, please enjoy. Watch all those videos and ask me questions that you have. My goal here is to teach people how to do this. No teal on this one. Pink and purple. Painting on trucker hats is fun because the colors layer a little differently on them. You can kind of, on a shirt, if I put purple on top of this blue, it would just make a darker purple or a darker blue. But if on this hat, because it's a foam instead of a cotton, it actually pushes that blue through, and you're left with a nice bright purple on top of a darker color, which is cool. Having trouble with your dagger stroke? Yeah, I think that's pretty much everybody getting started. Dagger strokes are the fundamental of airbrushing. A dagger stroke is when you let off of the paint by pushing forward while keeping the air down. You should always, if you're new to airbrushing, something I don't tell you is always keep this air down when you're painting. Stop the paint by pushing forward on the trigger, not by letting go of the airbrush. If you don't, you're gonna get splatter every time you keep painting, and you're always gonna have funky lines. You should always push forward to stop, and then let go. And when you do that, that angled dagger looking stroke that you create is called a dagger stroke. And every stroke that you paint should look like that. So if you don't have those down and you're not able to make good dagger strokes, that's the only thing you should practice. That's the first thing you should practice, and the thing that you need to master before doing anything else. They are very hard. It takes a lot of practice. It takes several days of picking up the airbrush and putting it down, going to sleep and coming back and doing it again in order to get really good with your dagger strokes. And I have a lot of drills for that. Practice drills, and I'm gonna make a video on those soon and get some practice sheets and some downloadable things like that, because anybody wanting to learn airbrush needs to learn that first. So I need to get it in your hands as soon as I can. Paint a casket. That had to be for a big service. You wouldn't want to paint it for like 8 people and then never see it again. Still practicing precision, yeah. It's hard. This tool, this isn't like using a pen or a pencil or even a paintbrush. This is an instrument that you have to learn. There are a lot of factors and variables to control at the same time. Your distance and your angle and your air pressure and the amount that you pull back paint and the consistency of your paint, and everything plays a role, and to get it all feeling just right, it takes as much time to learn how to use an airbrush as it does to learn a guitar, right? And the more time you spend practicing it and learning it, the better you're going to get with it. And then, you know, once you've learned that guitar, you bring your musical style to it, or your artistic style to it. It's a journey, but if you stick to it, you'll make some awesome artwork. Well, I'm done with my hats, guys. And yeah, I enjoyed answering your questions. I had a whole lot more engagement today than any other live stream. This was a lot of fun. I want to keep doing this, and like I said, I want to do some more detailed single pieces so we can hang out and look at one piece all the way through instead of a bunch of smaller ones. I think that would be more fun. If you have questions, ask them. If you need help, I would gladly help you. I would love everybody to be airbrushing. If you have graffiti talent that you want to bring into using this tool, it'd be awesome to see what you create. That's my goal, and that's what I want to do. Thank you for watching and hanging out. I'm going to get go paint something, guys.